Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik again, and this is a game won the Pacific Admins Edition. This is my play by PBEM match against Xargun. He is Allied Commander, and for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is Scenario 1 on game version 26B. We don't use any modification or mods, so everything is fine. This is a flipping of a base, but I normally don't want this base. Fusho is returning to Japanese control. And this means that I'm also responsible to garrison this hex, and yeah, if I don't do this, I lose one victory point. Stupid. If it would be Chinese, then the Chinese are responsible for the garrison. And this garrison is, at least for me, it's not the same for the Allies and for the Japanese. I think for me it's 120. So there's a lot of attack power I would waste for garrison duties. Good, so the night is so far quiet. I only take dot bases or empty bases. And no Navy clash again. Yeah, these are my carriers at Raoul Island, but no ships. Now the Allies can detect my task force. Yeah. So Xargun is more or less using all these airplanes for Navy search, but not for Navy strike missions. At least most of the time. I see some Dutch submarines in Surabaya. And we have counterattacks in China. Today the weather is a little better, but this is also clear terrain, so this hex is much easier to inflict damage. So bad weather is grounding my aircraft. Out of Canton I get these 3 groups to strike. And all the rest is recon. I also try to map the enemy positions at the border, east side of East India, to get a feeling how strong is Sargon's position there, and how many aircraft he have already in positions, and all of this. And because I must prepare still my invasion fleet for Pago Pago, I use now my cruisers as a secondary task force to bombard Pago Pago, also to get a feeling how strong is Pago Pago, if there's some surprise waiting for me. So I make a bombardment. And I see no aircraft here, and I see here the Navy, the 7th Navy Marine Defensive Platoon, and not much more. So maybe really only 1 or 2 units there. So in best case, Xargun never reinforced Pago Pago, and then there are only this. I think there are 2 units at the island. Good. My Kokon Chinese army, or we can better call it the 23rd Japanese army, is catching up with this retreating Chinese southern army. They are originally out of Kokon. And these three are too slow and they get kicked. And now they are back with their main body. But I think one unit is left behind. Yeah, only two retreating and one is left in the hex. This blocks my advance, so I must fight here again, and we will see if this last Chinese unit maybe will cross the hex this turn, then no battle. Or I can destroy this last unit completely. Anyway, a small victory for me. Good. Only bombardments, more bombardments, but this is here stronger, so I have a lot of artillery here. This is the game don't. I mean, a machine gun is a gun, and 24 centimeters, I think, the biggest land gun you have. So this is all a gun. So and it's important is normally you have 10 centimeter, 15 centimeter guns. This is a typical heavy artillery or medium artillery will really create damage, not machine guns. Good. In shock attack in Balikpapan, can the Dutch hold the base against the division?
Greetings everybody, how's tricks? This is Orphan Anne from Radio Tokyo, saying hello to all of her dog faces and boneheads wandering the Pacific Islands. Before we start the music, the Japanese High Command announced today that the ever-victorious forces of the Japanese Empire have captured Balikpapan.
Good. That was a success. Of course, the most important is how you take the base. I mean, take the base is, of course, the first goal, but more important is if the base is destroyed or damaged or intact. And now the Chinese are taking this base. I left them. I don't need it. I make my strategic retreat and try to get the Chinese come to Amoy, because in Amoy I have a level 4 fort. So if they attack there, they will get bloody. And at the same time I'm waiting for my reinforcements for my own Japanese venture army to catch them by surprise and then defeat them. I once defeat them already, so this is already a defeated Chinese army. I don't really have any big question mark if there will be a success. Everything will be a success for Japan in the long run. Good, but I lose 3 victory points by garrison issues. In the end, there was still no airstrike. Nothing out of Java. I'm waiting, but nothing is coming. There's only one transport airplane crashing somehow, somewhere. And the pilot is also dead. There was no sinking sound, so everything is fine. In China, yeah, I defeated these 3 units. One is still here in the hex. We will see. Maybe the Chinese can retreat, then I must. But I cannot walk now, so I must attack again. Not the best mechanics in this for land battle. I still think that the land battle is the weakest part of this game. Nothing else really here. My tanks, I think I let them rest only because they had not enough supplies or something like this, or disruptions, or but maybe I can attack today. Or I forgot simply to let them attack. I also walk here my Mongolian army. Tomorrow I will arrive here, but there's no river, so I must enter the hex tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow I can attack and maybe defeat the Chinese here. They are also already broken. And here is this situation. I thought the Chinese took the base, or maybe the attack. This was only a bombardment. Yeah, the Chinese making a bombardment, not a delivery attack, so they don't take the base. And because I move out of the base, now the game say, oh, you don't fulfill the garrison request because I have a garrison request of 30, yeah. So I lose here 1 point. And I also have a garrison request for this city, but here's 120. But this turn I don't lose a point for this one. But okay, nothing really special happened here. I take here this 1 dot base, 1 more base and 1 more dot, and then it's really done. Rangoon is building up. I try to finish airfield level 8, that I get double AV, and then I can move here out. And of course I also must wait for my operations in Singapore. So maybe tomorrow I will attack. I don't know. I want to attack, but not sure. Why I waited 1 more day, maybe. My invasion fleet is not coming because I think they're still loading. Now fully load. So last turn was still loading. Now I have all my equipment on board. Now I'm ready to departure. And here I am unloading only supplies because I still have supplies on ships. I can normally unload here. My submarine arrived here. Yeah, my submarine is here. Not sure why. I think it was low on fuel, so I let it enter here the fix. But now I must bring in my, the next shipping is coming. This is now division. Second 2 divisions plus a base force. And these guys will more or less arrive here today, so I can now bring in my fighters, and then 1 or 2 or 3 turns you can also run service ratio 1 fighters, I think, without AV. But you will of course have problems that this airplane's getting in maintenance mode day by day, more and more. So 1 or 2 days I think is okay, not much more. I can see here a lot of Dutch submarines. There's also heavy mines and 2 cruisers at least, and not much air force, but some. But they don't striking me, so not sure why. Detection level is not great on my... I mean, the Dutch only have 2 out of 10 or 2 out of 7, so I don't know, maybe they don't want to attack me today. At the opportunity, I have super information, so I know exactly what is here more or less. So the numbers are 90% correct, but I don't believe that here's a battleship. So 2 light cruisers and maybe something else. My first carrier, this is my second carrier, or whatever you want to call it. This is the second carrier division around Kara, Shukaku, Suikaku, Akagi. They are arriving here to support my amphibious assault group in around Timor. So I will now, normally I must get Kendari, Ambon, Dili and Kopeng. These are the bases I think I need for sure. Makassar is of course also a Navy search base for the Dutch I must take out sooner or later. Plus this base and this base. I think there are also 2 Dutch base forces somewhere. At least at the start of the war. Who knows? I don't really check them so far. They are not my primary goal. Nothing around New Zealand. Nothing around nothing here. Nothing. There's nothing. My carriers are on the way, but I don't locate here anything. And I bombard. No, I make a bombardment of Pago. I don't have a recon. I see here 3 enemy units. Okay, maybe there's 3. I have still some ammunition left, so I will make a night bombardment and then I return to Suva and rearm and be ready for maybe the amphibious assault against Pago. Yeah, good. Anything else? Not really. Everything is, I see no active at Marshall Islands. Navy search cannot detect anything. I don't see any ships coming or going out of wake. And my picket line is also always without feedback node. So focus is bringing here base force 2 divisions to arrive in Java. My Navy Guard guys try to storm Surabaya and get a first feeling how strong is the enemy defense. And my paratrooper guys are the elite troopers on the ground. They marching to take east side. Simply because if I take the base, then I take the base. I don't have anything better to do now. And in 2-3 days I will also arrive in Palembang. And because I try simply to make here more noise, so that maybe Xargun is focusing on this area in East Java, and then I can maybe sneak in Palembang without much effort. We will see how this plays out. Yeah, and the last information is of course, how is the situation in Palembang? Perfect, nothing damage, 100%. Always fine. But some mines I must clean. Good, see you next time, take care, bye bye.